The date is January the 7th. This is the news on PBCJ. I am Simone Absalom. The Ministry of Health and Wellness has made a strong start to 2020. They are injecting more than $1.7 billion to strengthen security protocols at public health facilities within the Southeast Regional Health Authority. Contracts were signed last Friday, January 3, between the Ministry of Health and Wellness and local security firms Marksman Limited, Shock Electronic Security Limited, Atlas Group Incorporated Limited, Modern Investigation and Security Limited, and King Alarm Securities Limited to provide security detail at these public health institutions. The contracts, which were signed at the National Chest Hospital in St. Andrew, will last for 3 years. Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton, who spoke at the ceremony, said the move was a step in the right direction.
A public health institution is intended to provide a safe space for persons who need help. And it's not just safe in terms of infection control, that's very important, but safe in terms of physical safety. As a government, we take the absence of or the threats to whomever uses these facilities, whether patient or staff, very seriously.
The facilities include Spanish Town Hospital, Linstead Hospital, St. Catherine Health Department, Kingston and St. Andrew Health Department, Princess Margaret Hospital, St. Thomas Health Department, Bustamante Hospital for Children, National Chest Hospital, Sir John Golding Rehabilitation Centre, and the Kingston Public and Victoria Jubilee Hospitals. Among the security protocols to be implemented are 24-hour foot patrols, identification badges to be worn by members of staff, regular spot checks of sterile areas, regions housing standby generators, air conditioning plant and boiler room, and signs displaying visiting hours are to be mounted. Additionally, personnel belongings will be subject to search pending the approval of the authorizing officer. Some consumers will see an increase in their water bills this month. The Office of Utilities Regulation, OUR, last month approved the NWC's application for a tariff adjustment. Speaking on RJR's Hotline program Monday afternoon, NWC President Mark Barnett confirmed that while most of the company's customers will not be affected by the rate adjustment, those to be impacted will see only about 4 to 5% increase on their bills. Mr. Barnett noted that the increased tariff will help ease the NWC's cash flow problems. The Enforcement Compliance Unit of the National Solid Waste Management Authority, NSWMA, says it issued 8,130 removal notices and 1,619 fixed penalty anti-litter tickets to enforce the NSWMA Act. This is contained in the NSWMA Annual Report 2018-2019, which was tabled in the House of Representatives recently. The report noted that the enforcement activities were bolstered by the acquisition of 2 Toyota pickup trucks in the last quarter of the reporting financial year. It said 1 unit each was placed at the WPM Waste Management Limited to serve the 4 parishes of Westmoreland, Hanover, St. James and Trelawney, and the other at NEPM Waste Management Limited to serve the parishes of St. Anne, St. Mary and Portland. For your information, the National Solid Waste Management Act Fixed Penalty Notice Litter Ticket was promulgated on May 1, 2007. Through the fixed penalty notice, the NSWMA has the power to ticket and charge offenders with fines as high as $10,000 per violation. A total of 228 Jamaicans, the first batch of farm workers for the 2020 year, began departing the island for Canada over the weekend. The workers left the island between Friday and Monday to take up employment opportunities under the Seasonal Agricultural Workers Program. The customary send-off ceremony was held for the workers at the Ministry of Labour and Social Security's Overseas Employment Services Center, downtown Kingston, where they were treated to solid advice from Minister of Labour and Social Security, Shahini Robinson. In a speech read by State Minister for Labour and Social Security, Xavier Main, Mrs. Robinson reminded the workers that as ambassadors for Jamaica, they are expected to always maintain a good name, character and reputation, not only while at work but also in personal time and space.
Do not hesitate to make contact with your liaison officer if you are experiencing a challenge for which you need an assistance.
Mr. Main also urged the workers not to forget their families.
In order to help to assist in maintaining the family bond, the ministry has established a service that will help to cushion the impact of your absence on the family. While you're away, the social workers attached to our Family Services Unit will make contact with your family to ensure that they are doing well.
More than 10,000 Jamaican workers go to Canada annually, and about 85% of those are returning workers. Approximately 230,000 persons have participated in the program in Canada over the years. The Companies Office of Jamaica, COJ, is encouraging persons to use the electronic business registration form kiosk located at its New Kingston offices to register their business or company. Persons can also register their business or company online via the COJ's website, orcjamaica.com, from any location globally. Public Relations Officer at the COJ, Kawain Ferron, told GIS News that the kiosk, which was installed in April, is designed to include persons without internet access or a computer. He stated that persons have been using the kiosk, noting that it helps to reduce the waiting time at COJ's offices. The Auditor General's department plans to complete about 9 audits for tabling in Parliament in 2020. The Ministry of Education, Youth and Information and the beleaguered Caribbean Maritime University are the first 2 agencies being audited, and a report is scheduled to be completed by the Auditor General's Department for tabling in Parliament in the first quarter of the calendar year. In an earlier audit that was tabled in Parliament in July last year, Auditor General Pamela Monroe Ellis found that the Education Ministry engaged the CMU in 9 multi-million-dollar school construction contracts without following the procedures set out by the government. Several performance audits of a number of public bodies have been targeted for 2020. Performance audits examine the management systems and procedures of government agencies to assess whether the entities are achieving economy, efficiency, and effectiveness in the employment of public resources. In a new special, we can report that the Cabinet of Government has gone paperless. The ministers gathered for their first cabinet meeting of 2020 on Monday. However, it wasn't business as usual. The major difference was this: all ministers received secure laptops to facilitate the electronic upload and dissemination of confidential cabinet papers. In his post on Facebook, Prime Minister Andrew Holness said this represents an important step towards the government's objective to a total digital transformation across the public service. He added that the transition was made possible through the use of information communications technology, ICT.
The government has long been engaged in creating a unified digital platform for all government operators. What we're doing today is an important aspect of that digital transformation, which is to finally change the business process for cabinet documents, to make them digital, to make them more accessible, and give a kind of real-time access to cabinet documents.
Former Chief Medical Officer Dr. Winston Delahaye is now the People's National Party's candidate for St. Catherine East Central, the constituency represented by Jamaica Labour Party's Orlando Terrelong in Parliament. Haye made the announcement in a Twitter post Saturday. The move leaves former Member of Parliament and PNP Foreign Affairs State Minister Arnaldo Brown in the periphery, having suffered a marginal defeat in the February 2016 general election. The US dollar on Monday, January 6, ended trading at $133.66, down by 31 cents. That's according to the Bank of Jamaica's daily exchange trading summary. The Canadian dollar ended trading at $100.47, down from $104.58. While the British pound sterling ended trading at $172.05, down from $172.77. In regional news, on Monday, a magnitude 5.8 earthquake struck just off the southern coast of Puerto Rico, causing extensive damage to structures, especially in the town of Guancia. While this particular earthquake did not trigger a tsunami, it served as a reminder of the vulnerability of coastal communities. The Caribbean is a seismic hotspot when it comes to earthquakes. Once in a while, an earthquake may trigger a devastating tsunami. Fortunately, tsunamis are rare in the Caribbean due to the lack of subduction zones. The last major tsunami to strike the Caribbean was in 1946 after a magnitude 8.1 earthquake struck the Dominican Republic. The 1946 tsunami was responsible for nearly 2,000 fatalities. Earthquakes in the Caribbean often occur along faults where the North American and Caribbean plates meet. Most faults in the Caribbean are a strike-slip fault, which are not favorable for tsunamis. This is because land isn't being displaced, but rather moving against each other in opposite directions. Over in Barbados, on Sunday, Prime Minister Mia Mottley gave remarks at the St. Lucie Parish Church for a service to celebrate faith as part of the Regathering 2020 calendar of activities. The Prime Minister encouraged the congregation to not lose their sense of community.
That this, above all else, requires us to be on the same page with the vision and mission. Because if we are, then all things are possible. I'm satisfied that 95% of us in this country have the same values. There are some who want to test it, but it is up to the rest of us to remind them not bout here. And if the rest of us stand firm in defense of what we believe in, what we stand for, and where we want to go, then in the same way that we were able to bring this country back from the brink of economic crisis with the value of our dollar, then I have every confidence that we can bring it back. Did it require sacrifice? Yes. Did it cost us something? Yes. Did we do it perfectly? No. Did we do it well? Yes.
Barbados' Regathering 2020 will focus on rebuilding that spirit of community at the core of the traditional Barbadian way of life. It will provide opportunities for all Barbadians to celebrate, participate, and invest in events and projects across the entire island. In sports, we're in the creases with cricket as former captain Paul Palmer Jr. has been drafted into the Jamaica Scorpion squad for the opening West Indies Championship 4-day match against Trinidad and Tobago at the Brian Lara Cricket Academy, starting on Thursday. Palmer replaces Nkrumah Bonner, who is said to have contracted the dengue virus while representing the Cricket West Indies President's 11 in Barbados. Bonner, who missed the limited overs tour game against Ireland on Saturday, has been instructed by doctors to rest for the next 7 days. And that's the news. Thanks so much for making it PBCJ. Remember, we are the People's Station.